to introduce Dr. Chu, who is a doctor of medicine specializing in natural medicine and oncology, to share his clinical experience using acai germanium for cancer treatment on a video straight from France.
ค่ะเดี๋ยวขอเชิญทุกท่านรับชมคลิปวิดีโอไปพร้อมๆกันค่ะ
Very good day to all of you. I am from a small country, Portugal, where I moved from the US, Canada, and France about 52 years ago. And basically, I am a naturopathic oncologist doctor, a researcher and practitioner. I have been working in my two clinics years ago that I opened in 1978 and 1983. And this clinic have attracted not only patients but many foreign doctors coming to learn how to treat cancer. And early in my life, I was acquainted with the healing power of natural food and other way to treat disease. And soon, when I started my practice to learn, interest to learn about cancer and treat cancer, it became one of my main objectives in my life. Now, in 1973, I meet the Dr. Asai, we call the founder of the organic germanium. I was organizing a congress in France of natural medicine with some colleagues, and someone told me about a doctor in Japan that have discovered a new compound to treat cancer. So I invited Dr. Asai to lecture about organic germanium and cancer, and he came all the way from Japan, and he presented this compound. And immediately by intuition, I was convinced of the anti-cancer property of the organic germanium. For me, it opened a new mode that permit me to start treating successfully cancer. Now, Dr. Asai found that germanium is present in many plants with anti-cancer property, with some with very high quantity, like the ginseng, for instance, that he described in his book. He wrote a book. And he found out also that some water spa with curative quality contain germanium, like in Lourdes, for instance. Now, germanium, what is germanium? Germanium is a semi-metal and semiconductor that was discovered in 1885 by the German chemist in Germany, the name germanium. In the soil, germanium is inorganic, but the victory of Dr. Asai is to have, after many years of work and research with this team, to make the organic and soluble in water. And the germanium also, as a semi-metal and semiconductor, has many electrodynamic property, and one of the most powerful elements existing on the planet to treat many diseases and cancer. Now, in 1985, after using intensively the organic germanium during 14 years with many cases of various types of cancer, including many children, I decided to write a book with my experience treating cancer and other degenerative diseases. Unfortunately, the book is published in Switzerland in French and English, but he has attracted the interest of many patients and also doctors. And from this day, the germanium was divulgated in Europe and later on in the States. And I will discuss later about it. Now, in my presentation, briefly, I will give some information concerning cancer and the problem of modern oncology. Second, how we can treat cancer differently through human surveillance and how the natural killer cells is associated with cancer. And of course, third, we'll finish with my own experience using organic germanium, now called the acai germanium. Now, just if we look today, the cancer become a real epidemic in the world. In 2018, the world cancer mortality reached 17 million of deaths, and it estimates about 22 million in 2030. So between 1973 and 2024, 51 years, do we have seen progress? Less risk of cancer, better outcome, less mortality, less toxic treatment, less occurrence. Do you know that in the US, a cancer patient dies every minute? On top of 10 patients has recourse to treatment in clinic considered the best in the world. And frankly, no significant improvement has been made since the past 35 years and more. I have a colleague that unfortunately died, an oncologist from Israel, and he wrote a very important book. He studied in the US the cancer and chemotherapy, and then he went back to Israel, and he was the chief of oncology in a big hospital. But very soon, he was disappointed with the chemotherapy. So he opened a small clinic where he could treat cancer differently. And he started to learn about the natural compound, the natural medicine. But himself, very interesting that himself was a victim of cancer. He was diagnosed with advanced prostate cancer that he has treated with this method without the chemotherapy. And he said in his book that no significant improvement has been made with chemotherapy since the past 25 years. So the conventional oncology look always in the same direction, the same toxicity, no prevention of recurrence. That's one of the biggest problems. Too many cases of recurrence, so there is not much progress. Now, if we look, what we call the problems of conventional oncology, and even oncology accept that there is a problem with the way they treat cancer patients. Now, if we look the surgery, which we believe is necessary, it has a double edge, because during the procedure of surgery, there is big number of cancer cells that escape. Also, inflammation from surgery favor metastatic invasion. Immune cells, natural killer cells decreases during the procedure of surgery, but they recuperate. They recuperate after 15 days, 21 days. But in meanwhile, many cancer cells are penetrated in the blood circulation, and then the immune system has to stop them, to kill them. However, in stage 3 and 4, such as breast cancer, after surgery, the patient will not recuperate from the natural killer cells to stay down. So that's one thing, Step 2, you recuperate. Step 3, little. Step 4, you not recuperate. And it's one of the problems. Now, do you know that after surgery, almost every second patient returns with a recurrence cancer? Okay, so it means that, I will explain later, that we have to do something before the surgery. I will show at the end a figure that shows how you can use uranium before the surgery and after surgery to stop the invasion of metastases and kill them. Now, then, after the surgery, maybe your immune system is already down, maybe you are under stress, you do chemotherapy. And what you have, the toxicity, side effect from middle to strong, including death, resistance of cancer cells, many cancer cells are resistant. Even you have a progression of the disease during chemotherapy. And many patients have to postpone their treatment because of very strong side effect or no result, even getting worse. They can, even during the chemotherapy, I have seen often that the tumor markers are progressing. So then chemotherapy, radiotherapy, about the same side effect, resistance, decrease natural killer cells activity, such in breast cancer, and too many cases of recurrence with the chemotherapy in breast cancer. Then, more lately, the immunotherapy, they claim that it's your body that can cure cancer, that can kill the tumor cells, but this immunotherapy is based on toxicity. It doesn't give more than 30-40% of results, but it's not very convincing. I think if we do a natural killer cell therapy, could be a better answer. Now, nobody today is speaking anymore of curing cancer. Before, yes, the media purported, that there is a miracle, and then this is the weapon that we were expecting to cure cancer. But nobody today is speaking of curing cancer. Stopping the progress of the disease is considered as a positive answer, response. Or prolonging the survival expressed in few months or weeks is considered a positive, but with no quality of life, not much quality of life. But this is what we are doing for years, helping the millions, the patient that has no chance to cure, to have more months or more years of life with a good quality. Now, if you look, the anti-cancer drug we put on the market and approved by the FDA, how to treat cancer with more efficacy and less or no toxicity. There is, if you look at that, then there is an urgent need for a new paradigm in order to use non-toxic natural compound with anti-cancer compound can be used conjointly with the conventional treatment or without it. And there is many ways we can approach cancer with efficacy by targeting a number of cancer mechanisms and at the same time increase the energy level of the patient and giving good quality of life. Some of these theories and practices have been used for years and now they attract the interest of researchers in oncology. The first is the natural killer cell immune system conjointly with what we call angiogenesis. Angiogenesis is the formation of new blood vessels that the tumor uses to grow. So we have to inhibit blood vessel or destroy the blood vessel so the tumor cannot get food and oxygen. And of course we have to use some compound like the germanium and we have to stimulate the natural killer cells. And then of course everybody knows about apoptosis. That's most chemotherapy use apoptosis, the p53 gene to kill cancer cells, and often the p53 in cancer is mutated. And this is the big problem in oncology because if the p53 is mutated, then there is a resistance to the destruction of cancer cells. Now, natural killer cell, it plays, I think we know, the audience know about the central role in tumor development, growth, and metastasis invasion, and cancer recurrence, especially in breast cancer. And so, the restoration of natural killer cell activity is one main goal in any cancer treatment. Now look, cancer patients have a low level of basal NK cell activity compared to healthy control. This is our first defense against cancer. And so, many people also walking in the street have a very low activity of natural killer cells, but they don't know. And they are subject of cancer risk. More, the surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation decrease even more the natural killer cell activity. And breast cancer recurrence is directly associated with natural killer cell activity. Now, the cancer patient, what they have, their natural killer cell activity is very low in the secretion of perforin and granzyme and defective in the production of interferon gamma. In some studies with breast cancer, natural killer cells are more depressed, about 175% compared to healthy one. Now I will speak briefly about my experience with organic germanium that we call today acai germanium to treat cancer and other degenerative disease. I will not speak about scientific reports since my time is limited and probably Dr. Nakamura will do it. Now, acai germanium first is an organic germanium compound confirmed to be safe with more than 40 years of research in development by the Acai Germanium Institute and other institutions. And there's a big difference between the organic germanium and non-organic germanium with toxicity and unfortunately available on the market. Now, Acai Germanium have a wide range of application in oncology. In fact, we have about 10 reasons and advantages to use the Acai Germanium in the treatment of cancer. It stimulates apoptosis. It dramatically increases the activity of the natural killer cells. It increases the secretion of the interferon gamma, which is very important. It's the most important cytokine in the fight against cancer. The interferon gamma also regulates the death receptor that we call the TREL and C95, which is an alternative to p53 pathway. Also, is an antioxidant supplement. Acai germanium will increase the production of SOD and glutathione against free radical. Is has an anti-inflammatory effect by inhibition of the natural nuclear factor kappa beta 2, which we know when it's activated is going to suppress the immune system and increase the angiogenesis. It increases the oxygen level in the body. It inhibits and prevents from metastasis to target organ. It detox heavy metal, important. It decreases pain in case of cancer, when we say advanced cancer with pain. It repairs the DNA damage, so that's interesting after mutation, after radiation, for instance, to prevent from a secondary cancer, and it reduces or eliminate bone metastasis. And increase the bone density. At the end of this presentation, I will show you, if we have time, a figure that explains what I want to say here. Now, again, I published my first book en Germany and cancer in 1981. The second edition, the first one was 1987. And I have presented not only hospital cancer, but also many cases that I have treated along those years since 1973. And it was for me the beginning of success in the treatment of cancer. Now, my first case started few months after I met Dr. Hassan, and I remember this, which explained, there's a case of tumor of the hypophysis, and the man lost the vision of the left eyes, and they want to make surgery, which is refused. And I didn't have much experience, at that time, but I said, okay, we are going to try aside germanium. And after 1 month, he recovered from the vision, which was fantastic. And I have this case in my book, this 6-year-old man, old boy, with the Wills tumor of 7 centimeters in the chest, no surgery, no chemotherapy, and it was eliminated. And today, the man is married, man with 2 children. There is many stories, maybe this one is interesting for you. A 17-month-old baby girl with liver cirrhosis. The prognostic was 6 months to live, and the father was not very convinced of what I could do, but he tried anyway. And I have treated this girl for 9 months with a low dose of germanium, but with a significant change 2 years after. It was absolutely a new girl. And when it was 1987, few years ago, this lady called the clinic and told the staff that I have saved her life, and she was making contact for asking for consultation from someone. Now today, the number one cancer I treat is breast cancer with metastasis, and also bladder cancer, ovarian cancer, prostate cancer, and lung cancer. And like I say, I have a colleague in the US that was suddenly diagnosed with 72 years, diagnosed with a lung cancer with metastasis in bone, liver, in brain, and it was a very deteriorated condition. Now after I used a very high dose of acid germanium at 3,000 milligrams per day. After 10 months, there is no sign, no trace of tumor of metastasis. This is a real miracle. And what is important is that the patient feels much better with much energy and much quality of life. Now, any cancer, if you have stage 2, you use 4 or 5 capsules of 250 milligrams per day, which means 1,000 or 1,250 milligrams per day. You have stage 3, you use 10 capsules which means 2,500 milligrams. And if you have stage 4, with the back cancer, then we use 15 capsules per day, 5 plus 5 plus 5, which is 3,000 milligrams. And in children, you start with 3-4 capsules per day, and you may increase but it depends, how you observe, the patient will react. But even with very high doses, because I use very high doses, there is no toxicity, no side effect. Acid germanium do not accumulate in tissue, but is quickly expulsed after 20-30 minutes. There is no more trace found in the body, so nobody can say that the germanium is toxic. But of course, like I said, it depends on each case and how the patient will respond. Okay? And like I say, again, be sure to use acid germanium when you come to treat cancer and other degenerative disease. Be careful with fake germanium on the market. Of course, healthy food diet and anti-cancer food diet is mostly suggested. It makes an overwhelming difference when it comes to treat cancer. I am working with nutrition and food diet for the past 56 years. And don't forget that food can be also your routine, like say, the father of routine, Hippocrates, you see here.